Ready, guys?
Stuck in it.
Broadcasting live across the Northeast, online and on your mobile. Want to get in touch with the studio? Call us on 0191 432 7234 or text the word anyone, followed by your message and send it to 60777. This is Anyone FM.
Coming up on Football Fan Zone on Anyone FM, our laughter not promoted to the Championship and lose at Wembley once again. Newcastle announced a pre-season schedule. Is it enough going into the new season in comparison to seasons before? And stay tuned to our final section on the chat as we talk all things football here on Anyone FM and live on YouTube. So, hello everyone. I'm your host, Kyle. And I'm joined by Lee Lawler and PD Proudlock, as he's known as on his YouTube channel. What's going on, Peter? You alright?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, thanks. And yourself?
Aye, not too bad. Bit nervous for this, but you know, I'll get through it.
Yeah.
I'll get through it. How about you, Lee? How's your week been?
It's been alright. I've been at work, grafting.
No Sunderland puns.
No Rob with no puns this week, which is good. Rest in peace in those puns. But yeah, I hope he's doing alright. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you get on the show. It's the first time, everybody who's watching and listening.
It is my first time. First time on the show. Bit nervous, but we'll get through it. Anyway, section 1 in our show is talking about Rafa Benitez. He's been the forefront of talks on Newcastle fans' minds since the season ended and what's going on for his new contract. And the latest with his contract, I mean, the update this week, Keith Dowie reported via his Twitter that talks are apparently close. What do you make of that?
You just never know, do you, with what's happening at the club? Because, look, with Benitez, look, we all know, we all want him to sign. Every fan knows it. We know the carry on with Mike Ashley. It's the finer details. I mean, what is it that now it's stopping it? Look, I still think, I'm still confident that he will sign, but I just hope that he gets what he wants. And from what the rumours are saying, and obviously Keith has been saying first names and all that, you know, Keith, you know?
Yeah.
He was... he said that it's almost there now, and it's the small details. And I think what the rumours are going around saying, it's the wage structure. Rafa wants a little bit more control. Instead of being capped, the wage cap, you want to go in and if he gets 100 grand and that gets someone, I don't know, give me a name, what matter.
Yeah, he's a free agent in the summer. I'd happily take him.
Like a big wage fee. That's fantastic. I think that's, and probably other smaller things, but it's promising. But we just want that to happen because it affects transfers, doesn't it?
I mean, Newcastle, it's been linked in local press in the past couple of days that Newcastle and Rafa Benitez may have 61 million going into the summer. Would that be enough to get the signings Rafa wants, and would it be enough to improve the squad to maybe challenge for like a top 8 place like Rafa wants to, Europa League, with the likes of Wolves and West Ham?
60 million, it doesn't sound much, does it? Because, I mean, if you are wanting to try and get in where Wolves are, that's where Newcastle should be.
Yeah.
The top 6 are the top 6. They're in a different league in themselves. But 7th is now. Come on, spend some money. 60 million. I don't personally think it's enough. I think you need over 100 million to get there. Is it better than what we were used to? Yes, but I want to say proof.
See, I'd be inclined to disagree, and I'll go on to Peter here, because do you think 61 million's enough for the manager in the summer? Because Rafa's proved in times that the likes of Johan Gouffran, he's managed to get good out of like poorer players.
Yeah.
So maybe with a bit of quality, and say with the 61 million you get 4 £15 million signings or 3 £20 million signings, would he be able to get the best out of them and maybe take up the league with what we've already got?
Possibly, but I think 61 million is just what Lee said, is definitely not enough. I think.
Yes, Peter, yes, you agree with me.
I think we definitely do need a bit more to make sure that we can get players in that will guarantee us to maybe push in for like top 7, top 8 like that, because majority of the squad has not been able to get there. So Rafa has been having to work with what he was given majority of the time. So, but if he is given that extra bit of money to go and get that big extra bit of quality, then maybe there is a chance to go for like top 7, top 8. If he does obviously sign a new contract as well.
I mean, I get where he's coming from. Like in recent seasons, especially going into these Premier League seasons since we got promoted from the Championship, which Sunderland got relegated from, and then they couldn't come up again. More on them later, and anyway. But back on topic, I think Rafa with 60 million might be able to do decent amounts. I mean, we brought in Almiron, we've got to build on him. He's got to come into the team. I mean, and I think our defence is already really good, so there is something there to say, get a couple of players further up the field. I think a centre midfielder would be great.
Yeah.
Maybe another centre forward, sort Rondon's situation out. Maybe another winger. I think 60 million. You're not gonna get world beaters. I don't think we'll compete with the likes of Wolves with the amount of money they have. But it is something to go off. It's better than what he's been given.
I would agree with you, Kyle. I think it's better, but I want to see proof in the pudding now.
Of course. If
we are given 60 million, does Rafa get all of the Deadwoodly likes of Savé and Colback, Rolanda Aarons,
if he gets 60 million plus what he can sell, I mean, you're looking at around 80-90 million if you sell the likes of Hosselu, if you sell Aarons, Savé, Colback, even the lower players in the team like Kieran Clark's, which we've spoke about at length on the channel, whether he should stay or go or not. Those type of players, is it ready to move them on because they need first team football at a later stage of their career maybe?
I think if he's given all the money, I think he will do for player sales, but that's 60 million, there's 60 million that everyone's talking about. If it is the true cases, a lot of the, including the local media, are saying that money has to go into agent fees and signing on fees, which I don't like.
Yeah.
So if you sign, give me a name, you're going to have to say, let's just say we're signing a 10 million midfielder, his backup, whatever, sits on the bench. It's not a 10 million fee because you've got to then pay the signing on fee, which could be anywhere between $500,000 to another million.
Yeah.
And then the agent will get a cut of that. So you're talking, it is frustrating, it is better, but more than anything else, we need Benitez signed, and it's a small problems, and I think he will sign. I'm confident in doing it, but
but does anywhere, like, we're looking to compete with like West Ham, Wolves, as I've said before, Everton. They're not moaning about transfer fee, agent fees and things like that. They're going out and buying these players. Like they've
got a lot more money to spend though.
Yeah, but it's like they're not moaning about it though. They're saying. They went and got Felipe Anderson last year. They paid 40-50 million for him. I bet you his agent wanted a little bit, but what David Gold and David Sullivan didn't moan about it. They went and just paid it, and now look at the results that he's given on the field for them.
I think the reason why I'm a bit, I don't know about this, is because we've seen it with the boards. I'm a bit, come on then, you've talked the talk in the past. Let me give me the walk that walks. You know what I mean? The walk that walks. Is that a phrase?
I mean,
I've made it up. There we go. You walk down here.
Trademark it, by the way. But I don't think, like, going forward, I don't believe them, because last year it was 120 million war chest. The year before that it was 100 million war chest. Now it's 60 million.
Well, to stop you there, man. Lloyd's just said in that live chat there, how can Newcastle take a loan? You just said there for Almiron with all the money that the club generates. You see the doubts that fans have.
This is the argument that I'd say as well, because it's been said for years in statements from the club when they've released the debts and things like that Mike Ashley's owed this, Mike Ashley's owed that, but he's pocketed the TV money and where we finished in the league for 10 out of the 12 seasons of Premier League football. He's pocketed all that himself, and not once has he put his hand in his pocket and lost and made net spend. It's always been, every year with him, a struggle and doing the minimum requirement to stay in the league, which for Rafa Benitez, for the fans, for Newcastle United, just is not good enough.
How? Let me reverse the question back to you. How much would you be happy with that Rafa has to spend with over the summer?
I mean, I've got to lower my expectations, Lee, because the past couple of years, we've been left disappointed because local media have said, "Oh, Rafa's got this massive war chest in the summer. Be braced for signing after signing for what to bring in like the players that we've brought in. Like I remember we're being linked with such great, like really good strikers a couple of years ago. Oh, 30 million, 40 million. We're gonna buy this. We're gonna buy that. We ended up buying Joslo for 5 million, man. Like that's kind of the expectation with this board, and Rafa can only work with what he's got to work with. It's just a case of, does Rafa believe the board? Because on one hand, he got what he wanted in the Championship when we went down.
He's slowly getting more and more control, and it's a slow process.
Yeah, he got written requirements of what he wanted, and we went and bought the army, and we went and bought Dwight Gayle, and we went and bought Matt Ritchie, which put us into a good enough position to get promoted. Then the lies started to come through, and slowly Ashley was starting to show his true colours with Benitez, but Benitez is getting more and more leverage because he's doing so good. He's that loved by these fans, and I think even Ashley, for as stupid-minded he is, he even knows. I think if Rafa walks away from this club, it's catastrophic. It could affect season tickets. It could affect the whole mood of the entire football club if Rafa walks. And I think he knows that, and they've got to either give him the money, or they're going to face the consequences of that.
You're spot on. If he doesn't sign on, I mean, the question is, do you renew your season ticket? That's what a lot of Newcastle fans will probably question.
I mean, as the Twitter group is, if Rafa goes, we go. A lot of people I know have said they'd follow this movement if Rafa leaves the club, because I think for a lot of these fans, Lee, that if Rafa walks, more than just Rafa walks, if you get
the
me,
identity as well that he's building as well.
Because he's always said he wants progression, he wants ambition, he wants to see hope, and that's what the fans see with Benitez. They see hope, they see a manager that's done it. He's done it in Napoli, he's done it in Liverpool, he's done it everywhere he's went. So the fact that he's here, it gives a hope to these fans, including me, that Newcastle could become something more under this man, but they just need that push from the management. Like in the past, we've had your Alan Pardew's, your Steve McLaren's, and thinking they're not the men to push this team forward to where we want to go. But you've got this with Benitez now, where you're thinking, you know what, if we invest, get some good players behind where he's got the foundations for a great team, just needs that extra bit of quality to say, you know what, couple of signings away from doing something great. I mean, we can laugh at Sunderland all we want, but they've been to Wembley and they've had
7 in a row there as well, you know.
I mean, I know, but we can laugh and joke all we like, but they've been to Wembley. I know it's in the circumstances they're in, with them being in the third tier of English football, but they've still got there, and I'd like us to get there too, so I can rub it in their face and say, you know what, we made it here too, and you know, that's what I want.
I know what you're saying about ambition. Just to go touch on that, I know we'll talk about something later, but I'd rather be in an FA Cup semi-final or an FA Cup final than a league trophy final against Portsmouth and trying to get back into the Championship. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a difference. So, or even a community Championship.
I know that, of course. I'd rather play in the Premiership, but
we've got to get as much digs as we can in Sunderland.
Of course,
we're getting away with it, of course, as well.
I mean,
we are regulated here. Question to you, Peter. I wanted to know this from Kyle as well. Is if Benitez didn't stay, would you renew your season ticket?
Oh,
the hard one, that, innit?
It is hard because the fans are passionate. They go there because it's a habit. They go because they're going back the team. But some fans will be saying, "Oh, I'm staying away because of the toxic atmosphere that's been going on around Mike Ashley." So, if I did, would I renew my season ticket? That's a tough one, that one, actually. But I think because it is a habit of going to games a lot of the time, week in, week out, yes, I think I definitely would.
I mean, I'm very much on the fence about it. I mean, I am.
I'm sure we'll talk about this fence thing all the time.
I mean, yeah, sure, but obviously it's a hard one because as I'm like many a Newcastle fan, I love the club. Do you know what I mean? I backed them to the hilt. I waited 4 or 5 years to sit where I sit in the ground in the singing section. I love it. It's part of my weekend. I love it, mate. It's good. It would kill us to walk away from the club. It really would. Even in the tragic circumstances that is Mike Ashley, I still love that. I still love Newcastle. I don't want him ruining my experience as a fan. I mean, there's plenty of reason to walk away. The prices for a start. I mean, you compare it to teams in Germany. I mean, Bayern Munich, it's like what 120 quid for a season ticket there.
Yeah, something like €200.
I nearly pay that a month. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the contrast.
Don't
but
see that come out.
it's a different. it's a different topic altogether. Season ticket prices in football in different countries, but just the lack of ambition. Like I've seen. I've seen Newcastle fans when we win away to Leicester. The scenes there, you were there yourself, with myself, but it's just amazing. Well, as fans at the minute under Ashley, we've been limited to just the small things of like an away day win or like a big win against a big team, for example, like Man City earlier in the season, where the only team that still beat them in the league in 2019. I mean, the day we were supposed to hand Liverpool the league and they still bottled it. So so that's a different topic again. Yeah. But how about you, Lee? Would you renew your season ticket if Rafa was to walk away?
I'm always believing that the team comes first, regardless. I've said that, and I'll be a hypocrite if I turned around and said no. Look, I love Rafa Benitez. I think he's the best thing since Sir Bobby, and we're doing a lot of things for Sir Bobby and his foundation in the last week and coming up as well. But I always believe that the team, I think I'll be there, but I support the lads first. And everyone goes on about, you talk about the Magpie group last season. Everyone's got the right and not the right to protest whether they want to. I will do what I want to do, and that's my prerogative. And hey, you can't please everybody. Some fans, that's it for me. Some fans will go. Some fans won't go because Mike Ashley's there. Some fans will stay away. Some will watch from afar. But I will go. The team will always come first. And yes, you might get a joke of a manager, whoever comes in next, and that is the massive worry. But forget about the manager side. It's the lads, because if the lads are playing there and you've got Jamal Lascelles captain the club with 20,000 people in that stadium, he's going to question himself. He's going to question everybody around him. Am I right being here? What am I doing here?
I mean, as I touched on before, if Rafa does leave, a lot will walk with him.
Yeah, I would agree.
The ambition, if Rafa walks, it just isn't there, and the next manager, you get the feeling it's just a yes man, a puppet, like a Pardew, like a McLaren, just there to say yes and accept mediocrity, which as a Newcastle fan we don't want. This is why the Magpie group is a thing. This is why if Rafa goes, we goes a thing. This is why there's protests in place, because we don't want mediocrity as a fan base. We want more. I mean, under the likes of Sir Bobby Robson, Kevin Keegan, we'll push those boundaries. Even though we didn't win anything, we came damn close to winning something, and we always had that hope, belief that when teams came up to Newcastle, they knew they had a hard game on their hands with players like Ginola, players like Shearer, Ferdinand. I mean, the list goes on.
Can't do that now, though.
Obviously not, but I mean, Wolves is a topic that you could touch on. They're trying to make it work. They're investing. They've got a bit of hope about them. They know what they're doing. In a couple of seasons, you're thinking that top six is in a league of its own. What Wolves could challenge that? Do you know what I mean? But quickly before we end section 1, if Rafa was to leave, who would be your ideal replacement?
Oh, come on!
If
you go,
talk about big shoes to fill.
Wenger, why not? I've got it on that shortlist. Yeah.
Arsene Wenger. You wouldn't be very popular down in North London, I tell you.
Right. No. If whoever comes in to replace Benitez has got a poison chalice, hasn't he?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I mean, I'd say Eddie Howe. Peter would probably say someone similar to yourself.
I was actually going to say Eddie Howe as well.
I mean, Eddie Howe. He'd be the one for me. But as you've said, it's a poison chalice. We're expecting that calibre manager, but we'll end up with an Alan Kirbishley. Pat Ross will probably come up the road and manage for a season.
Like Jack Ross.
Alan Pardew coming back part 2, but that's just the life for Newcastle fan, isn't it? That's what we'll have to put up with under this Mike Ashley regime. But coming up on section 2.
from Sports Zone. This is Anyone FM.
Hello everyone, coming up on the Football Fan Zone on Anyone FM and live on YouTube. Rondon and Gayle saga continues. What is next? Will Newcastle bring in other... We'll look at other alternative strikers. The faller from Gateshead rumbles on. The club are now suspended from the Football League. Us lads in the studio will have a say on it. Sunderland, the topic of Sunderland not getting promoted from League One.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
You can't help but giggle, but...
Yeah.
And also on the programme, Newcastle have announced the pre-season schedule. 4 friendlies in the entirety of pre-season. Is that more? Is that less than last season? How is it going to be? And stay tuned for the final section where all things in the world of football here on Anyone FM live on YouTube. So lads, section 2, which is the situation revolving Salomon Rondon and Dwight Gayle. It came out in the press the past week or so from an executive at West Brom that they won't be signing Dwight Gayle in the summer. That executive being Luke Dowling, Lee's kindly reminded us, that they're not going to sign Dwight Gayle in the summer. So that means we'll now have an option, because a lot of Newcastle fans were thinking, we could just use Gayle as leverage to get Rondon. Me, myself included, I thought that. Pete, I'll come to you on this. What do you do with Dwight Gayle?
I think he's got to go, for goal-wise, to me, another Championship club. I think that's his level to me for scoring goals. Because when he played in the Premier League with us, he only scored about 6 goals, wasn't it, when we were in the Premier League? Yeah, 6. And compared with when we were in the Championship with him, he scored about 20 odd, wasn't it? Problem
is, though, who's going to pay that alleged 55 grand a week? That's a lot for Championship.
No, it is, definitely, yeah.
I can see a Leeds paying something for him like that. But the argument is, to play devil's advocate, is he better than Joselu? Yes. Yeah. So he could easily be
is
another
he better
option.
Than Mutu?
I mean, that's an argument to be had on another day. I don't think he is, but there is an option of keeping Gayle for depth. But personally, I think while his stock is high, getting Player of the Year at West Brom, scoring 20 plus goals again in the Championship, I think now would be the best time to get rid of Dwight Gayle. Personally, I mean, he's been a good servant at Newcastle. Scored well over 30 goals for Newcastle in his time here. Maybe just around 30, I think, but he's done really well at Newcastle. It's fair to say.
He's done his job.
He was signed in the Championship to help get promoted. He's done that. It's just a case of now Newcastle need to upgrade that. And I think with his stock being high, like I mentioned before, the likes of Leeds, Notts Forest, them type of teams will be sniffing around him to say this is the type of striker that could take us to the next level. I mean, Leeds are crying out for a striker. I mean, to go alongside Patrick Bamford. So the cry would be to go to Leeds. I know Gale's not popular there, because the last time he went Ellen Road, he ended up shushing the crowd again. But he's good at that, especially in the 2-0 win. He shushed them twice. So would it be possible to keep Dwight Gayle, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility as well. You've got to look at that. Because if we do sign Rondon, let's just say we do, and if we don't have another striker, you're going to be relying on Joselu or Mutu, or even Ellis Sorensen if he gets promoted from the under 23s. I don't think that's enough. I know we want Sorensen to do well, and that's for another topic and so on. But Gayle is not. It's an upgrade off the bench. I think personally it's better than Mutu.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I think it's better than Joselu. I think it makes the bench stronger. So if we can't sell him, we've got to go and get Rondon.
The thing
regardless.
is with Gayle, though, he's always been ambitious in himself, and he's always like first team football. I remember at the latter end of his Palace career, he was on the bench a lot, and he still then got top goal scorer for them that season.
Another one who wrecked Liverpool's title chances.
I mean, another dig at Liverpool from Mr. Lawler. But no, I think he wants to play first team football, and with him being like 29 now, he will want a couple of good seasons and maybe another good promotion season for him, and then a last run at the Premier League to prove that he is good enough. I think if Rafa stays, I don't think he'll keep ahead of Gayle. I think he'd personally go with either Mutu or Joselu, because he suits Rafa's system more, and I think Rafa prefers them. But
a lot of people in the chat are saying Stoke won't pay the money. That's a good shout. Stoke, Sheffield United. If they've just been promoted, they'll be after a striker.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's people talking about Fulham as well. So there's a few people in the live chat.
Fulham's a great shout. I mean, Gayle and Mitrovic, the reunion. But moving off Dwight Gayle, there's been Newcastle moving on to Rondon. There's been there's been talk Rondon is wanting to stay at Newcastle. We've got the first option for him, but the talk is he's not willing to. He's waiting on Rafa basically. He wants to know if Rafa's staying. I think whether Rondon does come to Newcastle or not does hinder on whether Rafa stays or not. I think if Rafa leaves, I think Rondon won't come up here. But if he does, I think Rondon will be first taxi up. I think.
If he is hanging on for Rafa Benitez, you can only applaud him.
Yeah,
because he knows where he wants to go, and if he is hanging on and he's got like Wolves and West Ham sniffing around him.
I mean, they're ambitious clubs, but he wants to play under Rafa because he knows what's in place and he knows he's going to come
financially
better.
Rondon will know if he goes to those clubs, they'll improve the squad a lot better than what we was.
Yeah, of course.
Because of the owners and
I mean, personally, from the channel,
big beautiful man.
I adore Rondon. Big beautiful man, and honestly, he's my favorite. He's my personal favourite number 9 since Alan Shearer. Honestly,
big shout out.
He does so much. It's not just his goals. He provides so much off the ball. His hold up play to any striker in the league. I don't care who you are, is unparalleled. I think his hold up play is absolutely phenomenal. It's off the charts, and I think what he brings to Newcastle as a striker, even at 29 years old, is unbelievable. But they have been talking about alternatives to Rondon. I mean, we've been linked with several strikers in the past couple of weeks. The first being Joelinton of Hoffenheim, 22 years of age. We've been linked with him, but the staggering price tag from Hoffenheim is 35 million euros, and I think under the Ashley regime, that's not going to happen. I mean, I've got
7 goals a season he got?
I've got his stats from the season. He's had 35 appearances where he scored 11 goals and assisted 9 times. So he's provided 20 goals in the season, which for
the Bundesliga,
which isn't bad. I mean, and there's a lot of potential there. 22. I mean, with the old chestnut of sell-on value at a club, it would interest Newcastle, but I don't think they'd be willing to pay the 35 million euros for him.
No.
The local media was saying again that I know we're basing this on reports is that they want Rondon is prime,
definitely.
And then the likes of Joe Layton being a rotated player. We're talking about Gayle sitting on the bench and trying to break through.
Yeah.
Because if we do sign Rondon, I want Rondon to feel threatened as well. I don't just want him to come in and just say, I've got no.
I mean, Gayle would keep him on his toes. To be fair, I mean
that's what you want. No, you want that depth of competition.
Rafa kept going to Gayle the season before last because of his work rate, because of his ethic, and because of his determination to score goals. And yeah, he scored 6, but he did work really hard in that season, which I suppose it would keep Rondon on his toes. So fair play. The other one we've been linked with though, which is a more interesting one for me, is Wesley Moraes from Club Bruges. Yeah. He like Joelinton's 22. This season in the Belgian league, he's played 46 times in various competitions like the Europa League, the Champions League. He scored 16 goals with 10 assists. So ironically, Rondon's the lowest on assists. He's a 1 and 3 type of striker in a lower division.
I'm not keen on that. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, he's going around the same. Like Club Brugge are wanting the same amount as what West Brom are wanting for Rondon, around 16 million. So it is a shout. We could go for him, but personally, I wouldn't go for him myself. I'd prefer Rondon. Rondon's a safe option, whereas
you know what you're getting.
We've been haunted by the Belgian league before with Mitrovic. I mean, Mitrovic is a very sensitive subject among fans. A lot wanted him again another chance. A lot were happy to see him go. I was on the side of happy to see him gone. After a while, I mean, I was into the craze of Meat was on fire, your defence is terrified, and he was very a cult hero when he was at Newcastle.
If that song still comes on, I've still got to do it.
I mean, of course, but he was. I bought into the hype that was Mitrovic, and it was just a shame that his career didn't happen the way it did at Newcastle. But I don't think buying Wesley Moraes from Bruges. I know he said. His agents came out and said recently.
Yeah, I've got the code. Do you want to read this out?
Yeah, go for it.
His agent turned around and said, "What about Newcastle? Are they in the running?" Yes, it's true. We've already had that conversation, but Rafa Benitez needs to renew his contracts. What do you think of that?
I read a bit about that. I don't know much about the guy, but I've not seen him played much in the was it the Belgian?
The Jupiler League, isn't it?
League guy.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about this one overall. Still
1 and 3.
Okay, but
if he comes as a rotation to Rondon, that's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, but Rondon would definitely be my number one choice.
It wouldn't necessarily.
He's more Premier League proven, Salman Rondon. That's the thing.
Because when Mitrovic signed, there was this hype of he scored 20 goals in the Jupiler League. He's done this in the Champions League. He scored against Arsenal the season before. there's just not that kind of hype behind Wesley Moraes, and he might become a great striker one day, but I just don't think under the system with us, I just don't think it would make sense.
There was another name as well, as Tammy Abrahams as well, but I think because if he's had a great season with Aston Villa, he would cost too much. I think he could go in 20s.
I'm not keen on Tammy Abraham, to be honest. I think
Rafa likes him.
I like him as a player, don't get us wrong. As a player, he could become England's next big thing, but what I doubt is his attitude. A lot, like when he does well, he's always touting himself for big things.
Was that rumour he wouldn't come up because of the nightlife?
Like the big market, didn't he?
I mean, the nightlife is not wrong with the big market.
We're based in the big market.
Wrong with the quayside.
Anyone is here in the big market, rocking it.
I mean, of course, but Tammy Abraham, it's just his attitude. I think if he had a good season at Newcastle, he'd be touting. He'd be asking his agent to tout him up to bigger clubs. So he'd come to Newcastle with the mindset of, if I do well here, I'll go somewhere else. Whereas I think Rondon wants to come here and stay here and play for these fans, which is what I adore about Rondon above everything else. He's committed to play for this team. He's committed to play for Rafa Benitez and these supporters. So for me, out of the three, four options that we've mentioned, I think Rondon would be the best option.
I think we'd all agree with
that. Definitely Rondon.
I definitely agree on that.
The best one.
I mean,
also with them, you've got to look at it from West Brom's point of view as well. They're in a position now where they didn't come up. They had a striker here who scored X, Y, amount of goals, 20-odd goals, proven in the Championship. Luke Dowland's already come out and said, for the long term, we can't afford Dwight Gayle on a permanent contract because of his wages. But surely the same question then has to be asked that they can't afford Solomon Rondon's wages in the Championship.
How much is he on a weekend?
He's got to be on. You can't be on more than 50-60k. So that'll be the push. I mean,
it depends on players willing to take pay cuts a lot of the time, but.
Would Solomon Rondon go to West Brom and play in the Championship? He's leaving West Brom.
Well, yeah.
He's definitely leaving West Brom for me.
If he doesn't come to tune, he's off somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the argument could be is this loan could happen again, because I know you know what Ashley's like, save a penny, trying to save everything he can, and I think
a few more pennies,
penny saves a penny earned. You know what he's like. They'll probably go for the loan again. They'll probably want a loan swap. That's the leverage we do have with Dwight Gayle. I think it'd be good for both parties again for a loan move, because it would then save up funds for this potential 60 million to go elsewhere. But
Lloyd in the chat has just brought up Andy Carroll. Lloyd Andrew, bring Carroll back.
To be fair to Lloyd,
why Peter?
Too injury prone. He can't stay fit. The thing is, like, we sold him for like 35 million.
Great sell, mind.
I'd buy him back for nothing. I mean,
let me ask you this question, because I've asked everybody here on Newcastle Fans TV: would you rather have a Hoslu for 38 games of the season, who's solid and he'll come on?
I'll speak for everyone listening and everyone sitting at this table. Joslu is awful.
You know what's coming, don't you? Kyle know what's coming. Right, so you've got Hoslu. He's going to play 38 games. He's very rarely injury prone. Or would you have Andy Carroll, pay the big wages, and he plays 10 to 15 games? Who would you pick out of those two?
If I had to pick one, it'd definitely be Andy Carroll. I mean, Hoslu is just awful.
So even though you haven't got a striker on the bench, so you've got Andy Carroll. He's in Jazz.
You talk about big contracts. I remember when Paul Dummett got put on a contract similar to this a couple of years ago, play contract, and I think that would help the situation with his injury. But I think Andy Carroll, it's
you need another striker. I'd be bringing Andy Carroll.
It's kind of poetic, isn't it? Like Andy coming home, and I'd get behind that. I really would.
Wait, didn't Andy Carroll say he was forced out in Newcastle? He didn't actually want to leave, then bang, 35 million. Yes, it's a great move from him at the time, going to Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in the world. But he didn't like, and he spoke out about the regime, and it's we're still here another 8 or 9 years later.
Of course, but I think Carroll would be a good option. I mean, if you were to sell Joslu to China or wherever, whoever will take him, if you're willing to send Joslu.
What if you cannot sell? I mean,
Joslu's been linked with a team to China. I mean, there's someone that's going to buy him. The pull's there that he's a Premier League striker, and he scored eight goals in that time. Actually, that's generous. He hasn't scored 8 goals in that time. I think he scored 6 or something in his time at Newcastle.
Yeah, 6.
I mean, people in the chat will let us know what
it is. 6-4 last season, because remember that guy guy that went on the TV and got it wrong.
Yeah, that one.
You got it wrong last.
I remember that one. Dig it, Rob.
So you've got to look at it. If you're going to bring in someone like an Andy Carroll, you can't just have him and Rondon. You've got to have another one. So whether you play Mutu a bit more, whether you promote Sorensen, so Elias Sorensen is all the signs there. He's probably going to have a loan spell, but you look at that position, it's up for grabs for anybody. Yes, Rondon, if we're signing him regardless, the backup striker is up for grabs, and the problem that we might have is what if we can't get Hoslow off the books because he could be on 40, 50k. I mean, what do you do with Hoslow? What if he has a great pre-season? Let's play devil's advocate.
But still, you got a question: can he still do it in the Premier League? Well, we've seen it from the past 2 seasons, and the fans are just saying, get rid of.
What do you see about him that you don't like? What is it about him? What do you not like?
Kind of find the back of the net. That's his problem, and he's missed easy chances a lot of the time. Particularly last season, was Brighton one of them away last season when we got beat 1-0. He missed a really good opportunity and it went wide off target, and the goal was right in front of him.
The problem that I say with Hoslow is that because he plays so deep, he can't. He hasn't got the legs.
That's the problem. He doesn't get forward enough,
and then he cannot hold on to the ball. That's the two issues that I have. You'll come up towards the halfway line, you'll hold it, lay it off. He hasn't got the legs to get right up to that pitch.
Yeah, it's like,
and when you talk about Hoslow now. How many chances do you think Hoslow have in a game? It's very little. 1, 2 max.
I mean, if you remember pre-season last season at Hull, he had that chance and he buried it in the bottom corner right in front of it. And I was thinking, is this the same player? No. And we're joking, calling him Josselino and the next big thing. And and then on the flip side, you get to the Premier League, he had that chance against Burnley away from home, and it's very similar to the chance that he had at Hull, and he hits it off the post. I thought it went in, but I agree with Peter in saying that he cannot finish them type of chances, and you're lucky if you
can't get in.
You're lucky if he's scoring 6-7 goals a season, and for a team that's wanting to push and compete with the likes of Wolves, who have the likes of Raul Jimenez, and you've got Everton, who've got Calvert-Lewin and Toussaint and people like that.
Well,
we're not gonna compete with them.
In the live chat on YouTube, there's a couple of them saying Callum Wilson or even Josh King.
You see, I was going to bring up Josh King, and I completely agree. I think running off Rondon, I think Josh King would be amazing. Honestly, he's
playing
so
a couple of
fast.
positions as well. He's not out and out, is he?
And a lot of people have been saying this, that the past 3 seasons he's been outperforming even Marcus Rashford. He's scored more goals than Marcus Rashford in each
Wilson.
3 that he... Exactly, both strikers.
Goals to games.
Exactly, goals to games ratio. Both are better than even the likes of Rashford and Lukaku at Man United in the past season or 2. Would you have them?
I would, but again, you're probably talking... Callum Wilson in particular being English.
I mean,
he's an upgraded version of
Chelsea got
Gayle.
quoted 70 million in January, so Callum Wilson's
because he's English.
But
King, possibly he's
mid-20s. Yeah.
How much would you think you need to grab him?
Callum Wilson, you're probably talking round about
daft figures, isn't it?
30, 40, 50 million. You could be as well.
What about King?
King could be talking maybe the same or maybe a little bit lower. But
where would you play there? Would you change the formation completely up, or would you keep Rondon as your main guy and King floating around him?
If Perez gets sold, which is rumoured, King will be his replacement for me. Like, if you sell Perez for however many, 15, 20 million, you're going to get for Perez. You could add to that and get King.
You could also throw in the mix, and there's a lad who we're forgetting about, is Jacob Murphy could have a massive involvement with Rondon and Gayle going either way, because you've already touched upon and on the channel that the one option for Murphy, because the lad is lacking. He looks like Bambi on ice. He's like scared to do something.
Yeah.
Get him out on loan. I know he didn't do great. Maybe it's not West Brom then. Maybe just for his development, but he could be a sweetener for this deal to happen.
Yeah, of course. In terms of Murphy's future, though, is he worth an opportunity, Lee? Do you reckon? Because for me, it's either Aarons you give a chance, or you give Murphy a chance. I think
Roland Aarons is he's no future now. He should be now playing first.
To be fair though, to play devil's advocate again, I think in the time in the Premier League over the years, we've seen more from Aarons than we've actually seen from Murphy.
But Aarons has come all the way through 18s to under 23s, ever since we got him from Bristol City. He's too much now. I think that's it. With Murphy, because he's still got another 3 year left, and if we do play the wing back system, he could be a backup or challenging that right wing back, because I remember when he played for the England under 21s, he was phenomenal there in that tournament in the Euros, and that was 4 years ago, and he was minting that. So Murphy again, what do you do with him?
Again, that it's hard, because To me, last season, I don't think he was given enough chances. He only played like 1-2 games. I think last season.
Brilliant at Everton. He was sensational in that
Oh yeah, that game he was good when he put that ball in for Rondon.
That pass, unbelievable, right in front of her again.
And you're just wondering why we're wasting the lad if we paid that much amount of money for him.
The thing is though, he has a great game, and then you don't see him. Okay.
You've got to
I mean, I remember the season before last, we went on a 7-game losing streak, and Murphy, ironically, in them 7 games was absolutely unbelievable. I think we went down to the Etihad and he scored his first goal.
Great finish.
It was great finish. He chipped it over Edison.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic goal. And like from that point on, it's just we haven't really seen anything of him.
No.
And like
you want him to do well as
in the FA Cup last season. I was looking towards Blackburn. I was thinking, right, Murphy, this is your chance. Go for it. Beat Blackburn on your own, which you're capable of doing, and try and work your way back into this team. And he just didn't do it, did he? Murphy for me just did not do it. And I know he's a Geordie lad and he supports the team and whatnot, but it's questioning whether
is he good enough?
He's good enough to warrant that $12.5 million price tag paid for him a couple of years back. Yeah. And it's a shame because I really want him to do well as a supporter, but. I think a loan move next season. What do you think, lads? Yeah,
I think a loan move might do him good, and if he does well, depending on who he goes to, he might be given that chance to try and do it in first team for us.
You, Lee, what about you?
See what he does in pre-season, and if we do play the wing backs, keep him. If we don't, move him out on loan.
Okay.
Every game, every goal, we got it covered on Anyone FM Sports Zone. This is Anyone FM.
this joy, this spirit, this towering pride. Get into the day, the evening, and night, into the heart, into the life. Get into your city, get into my city,
Your Newcastle.
get into
Oh,
Newcastle.
My dad said he knew our house like the back
Like,
of
I
his
think what's
hand,
going on.
but when the fire got going, he couldn't see the back of his
Got it
hand.
on, mate.
Mum was with my baby brother, trying to get downstairs. Dad and me went through the bedroom window. It was a good idea. Plan B saved his life.
Tell you what I'll do, I'll play your
I
eye down
just
again,
wish
just
he'd
go
had
straight
it
in after
before the
that.
fire
Right, okay, no bother, mate.
started.
Thank you.
Then we'd all have got out.
Plan your
So you're
escape
delivering
routes
that
in
one, or
case of a
you're doing that
fire, and you'll give your family a fighting chance of getting out of it.
Okay, so
Fire
first.
kills.
Yes,
you
we'll
can
do that,
prevent
yeah.
it.
Every game, every goal, we've got it covered on Anyone FM Sports Zone. This is Anyone FM.
So, coming up on Football Fan Zone on NA1FM and live on YouTube, the fallout from Gateshead rumbles on. The club are now suspended from the Football League Conference, and the lads in the studio have the say on it. And most recent topic, Sunderland not going up. They remain in the third tier of English football. And I'm sure a lot of listeners have been wanting our thoughts on this one with
Definitely
Sunderland.
do on YouTube.
I mean, we've got to start off with Sunderland, haven't we? I mean, the playoff final, they're filling up Trafalgar Square for the second time this season, making a bit of an idiot of themselves with the viral videos going around with the woman. But yeah, they get beaten what is the most poetic, fantastic way possible in conceding a last second winner, 6 seconds to go, as the song's been going around the internet with 6 in a row, 6 in a row. You're still in League One with 6 seconds to go. Something very similar to that, but I mean, Peter, I'll come to you first in regards to, because you watched the match in a pub in Newcastle in Shearer's Bar. What do you think for Sunderland in League One for another season?
It is. It's funny, innit? Because they were like mocking us when we got relegated to the Championship, or enjoyed the likes of Burton and away and all that.
I'll cut you off a second. Just a second there, Peter. Sorry.
Okay.
They say enjoy Burton away, but they're going to have their third consecutive season playing Burton away from home. But do continue.
I enjoy Burton away and all that, and then obviously they get relegated again, and look what happened.
I know. I mean, Netflix season 2 coming soon, everyone. I mean, let us know in the comments on the live chat what you all think of that one, because I kind of contain me laughter. I mean, I was watching it in a mate's house, and that goal going in, I celebrated that Charlton goal like a Newcastle goal.
Nightball was completely
Calls
celebrated
obsessed.
as well.
Sunderland fans, calls what you want. I really could not care less what you think. You staying in the Football League for me is one of my highlights of the season, and I could not care less. On to you, Lee. What do you think of
I thought you were going to ask where I was.
the minions down the road staying in League One?
I'm ecstatic about it. Hell yeah. We'll keep it clean since we are live on radio as well. Beautiful, isn't it? It's a beautiful day to be Geordie. That's what I've been saying all day. It's one of those moments. Where were you? I mean, I was at work watching it, and
Of course.
when Newcastle first, I just couldn't help myself. So out of respect of everybody else, I hid under a table, started laughing, banging the floor. and then I thoroughly enjoyed it. Came back up, and then I seen about 4 or 5 people looking at us, thinking, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
But there's some people that don't understand football and don't get what that means. I mean, I don't know what you're doing with your life if you don't know if you're not into football. But
I think the celebrations. Look, I will credit them for the amount of fans that did go down there. I will say that. They should be doing that every home game though, not just the one-off or the 2 games that they keep losing at Wembley. But you know, the scenes that were going around. I mean, you know, the mess. First of all, that's disgrace. First of all, they left a massive mess just there. The woman taking her knickers off and walking around, and rightly so arrested.
I mean, there was a lad that got down to his kegs and jumped into the fountain, thinking it was a pool, and he hit his head.
Oh yeah, the guy who went.
That's if you want to sum up Sunderland's season in a video, it's sad. Starting thinking it's going to be a great event, and then they jump in head first, and they're knackered, aren't they?
It's
left in humiliation.
It's the gift that keeps giving. And when I seen the first goal go in, the own goal by Charlton, I just thought,
It's not. You're pulling that fiercely, and like you can say that, but I look at it as Charlton giving Sunderland a head start in a final.
Yeah.
I mean, they felt sorry for them. You mean they haven't won?
No Sunderland players scored.
It was 6 in a row at Wembley. I mean,
It's 7 now. By the way.
it's now 7. They've now overtook the record that they had for against Newcastle in the Wembley record. I mean, it must be hard to be a Sunderland fan right now because
this is a bit where we're going to get a bit serious about the topic now.
we have got to get serious about the topic. And the manager, Pat Ross, he was brought in. Patrick Ross.
Jack Ross. Let's keep it right.
Pat Ross. I mean, I mean, the last host got a name wrong as well, but that was one of his guests and not Sunderland's manager. Patrick Ross. What do you do with him now? Do you keep him on or do you sack him? Because I mean, he was brought. The memo was a Sunderland manager to come up. First attempt, he had the money, spending $4.5 million on Will Grigg. I mean, for a League One team, that's spending that kind of money is absolutely mental. To put it into terms, they've spent money on players. They've rebuilt that team. What happens? Do you keep him or do you get rid of him?
Right, I'll try to put my neutral head onto this. I'll be best. If I was a Sunderland fan, he's got to be sacked. He's got to be sacked.
Yeah,
he has to be. As a Newcastle fan, I would love him to stay because he's doing a great job for us. But professionally, let's put your normal head on, Lee. His aim was to get Sunderland straight back into the Championship, and he failed to do that.
From uni, I know a Barnsley fan, and he put it great. Sunderland finished 5th in a 4-horse race, and then they went on to the playoffs, and then they've done the same. He says Charlton will be the team to go up, and they have. So shout out to him. But for me, I agree. I think Jack Ross again. Patrick Ross has got...
Jack Ross, get it right.
I mean, I don't care who some
call him Mr. Ross.
Mr. Ross has got to leave, but he's just...
He's got to go. He's got to go.
That's
what he's in.
The thing is, if you're a Sunderland fan, I know not many of them will be listening or watching, but if there is any...
Well, no, your bit might go viral here.
Who do you have to take over as manager? Like... For me, I've never been in the mindset to think, who would be a good manager for League One. I've never been in that mindset as a fan, and
because we've never been there.
Exactly, we've never been there, so I've never been in that mindset. But
the problem that Sunderland have is there is this talk that the owners already want to bring in some investment, so they'll have less control of the club from their own fans, and then secondly is the parachute payments from the Premier League will be less, even more next year.
Yeah.
So they had it last year in the Championship because you get it for up to 3-4 years. It'll be even less next year, so that means the structure, the wage.
To be fair though, Lee, if they're getting parachute payments in League One, it should financially put them above a lot of them teams.
They should.
I mean,
they should be promoted.
They'd be one of the few. In fact, I think they'd be the only team in League One that's getting those parachute payments from the Premier League. So for me, there's no excuses for how they didn't come up. I mean, 16 draws in the league. More draws than IKEA, as Paul would say on the channel, but like, I just think it's been a pathetic season for them. And as a Newcastle fan, I've enjoyed today more than the 2 relegations, because for me, the Sunderland fans all season have been saying, "We'll walk the league. It should be foregone conclusion." And they've struggled.
But they're right in saying that. They should have.
They should have walked the league.
Sunderland fans are right. We'll laugh at Sunderland fans.
I'll laugh at them, but a club of Sunderland size
should be winning
that league, no problemly. And I completely agree with you in saying that. But
it's like us when we went down the Championship, we should have walked that league. And Brighton made it tough for us.
The players that they've got are good enough to be in the Championship, but they're just...
I would even argue probably... McGeady could probably do a job for your lower Huddersfield, for example, this season. I mean, a lot better than some of the players in there.
Exactly.
Fulham's another one.
It is one of them. I mean, will Sunderland be able to keep a hold of these players like McGeady's, like Will Grigg, who's just recently signed, Charlie Wyke? I mean, they've had okay seasons for Sunderland. It's going to be hard for them to keep a hold of. Do you not think?
It's financial reasons. They're going to be even more tighter. How many people are going to turn up next season for the door as well? I mean,
exactly. It'll be less now known.
I mean, what would the average in 23, 27 on average? That's big.
As I know from me Barnsley at uni, he says that Sunderland fans would mock other teams in that division for attendances, which is ironic to me because we've been mocking Sunderland for a long time over their attendances, but at a League One level, the numbers that they're bringing in is insane. Like next season, they'll be playing the likes of Lincoln and Tranmere. right? Lincoln have, 5,000, 6,000 seater stadium, and I mean, one of our listeners, Liam Hale, to correct us on that, because he's a massive Lincoln fan, so he'll probably correct me in the chat of what their capacity is. And the likes of Tranmere, they're struggling 4,000. I mean, Sunderland take that away from home most games. So
got an interesting comment here come through from Jack Crawford. Hey Jack, thanks for joining us. He says, obviously some deep issues in Sunderland. As a Newcastle fan, I still sympathise for them fans. Peter, you're looking at me like a weirdo. Tell me, what's Jack thinking there?
Oh.
Can you try and take off your Newcastle hat for a second and see it from the Sunderland fans' perspective? You can't. You're struggling, aren't you?
Thinking oh God.
I'll tell you who you were saying there, Kyle, that they should now, because for me, Jack Ross should be sacked. They had to go up.
Of course.
They had to go up. So if they do that, it's the right decision, because the financial reasons next season, they're going to probably have to sell another couple of big
they're going to have to tighten
Plus,
the belt
I don't
a
think
bit.
if they did go up, I think they would struggle badly.
Yeah, I disagree on that. I don't think they'll struggle as bad, because Sunderland in the Championship is still a massive prospect for any player to go to and say, North East football, you know, I would have thought the attendance
The managers
would
come
be
from
higher.
the Scottish League, which is nowhere near as what the
That's because
English
of financial reasons
isn't
again. So if Sunderland did get promoted, they could have kept McGeady, Will Grigg, Catamole. I know.
Yeah, Catamole is.
There's another one as well. Even like who's the other midfielder that came in? He used to play for Borough. He joined them.
Ledbetter.
That was it.
I do feel for him actually.
That could be another.
He lost his mum recently, and there was a video after the playoff semi-final that they had at Portsmouth, and he was crying, and I really felt for him, and I thought if Sunderland were going to win today, at least it's going to be good for him, because he'd be going through a traumatic time, and my heart does go out to him in that regard. But it is going to be tough to keep ahead of these type of players, because the were playing a lot of the names that we've mentioned were playing Championship football in some regard the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And with the parachute payments getting less and less, it is going to be hard for Sunderland to sustain these type of players.
They need someone who is proven in League One to get them out that division.
Well, that's
so
what when we got relegated to the Championship, Rafa brought in players for the Championship, like your Giamis, like your Gales, like your Richies, like Kieran Clark, high-end Championship players, even low-end Premier League players. Richie's proven that he's the latter. He's brought them players in to do a job, and I don't think Sunderland did that very well. I think there's a great opportunity for Sunderland to rebuild. Stuart Donald, I don't want to credit him too much, but he's done in such a short time, in the space of a year, from what they were the year before under Short. He's done an amazing job. Yeah. He's got the fans behind the team. He's got them. He's speaking regularly with media outlets for Sunderland. He's always talking to, he's always talking to Sunderland fans. He's always engaging in what they want.
He speaks to the actual the community side of things. I think he is, because that's where Ashley can learn a lot from him. Because Donald is, you've got like podcasts like the Fanzines getting involved in exclusive access to him, which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's very rare in this modern day football. There's only a few, even like YouTube channels, who've got access to clubs too, maximum, that I can think of off the top of my head. So he has done that, but there is that doubt that's coming in, is because there is that worry that he could be selling already after a year.
They were quickly shut down, weren't they? He's just looking for additional investment. But
that would mean that would have less control.
That's one thing I wish our board would do, and play on the communication a bit more, because I've said in forums over a vast period of time, saying, we're looking to improve the communication, we're looking to do this, we're looking to do that. They haven't really done it, have they? I mean, you looked at our last fans forum, when was it? At the back end of last year? Promised to be early this year as well, to discuss the transfer window, and they still haven't had the fans forum.
No.
So in terms of how the board speak to their fans, Sunderland are way ahead of Newcastle in that regard.
I think they've improved that side of things, but the main thing for Sunderland fans, they don't want to be talking about the community, they want to get out that division, and fortunately that today for them was a massive hammer blow for them.
Yeah, but with Sunderland being a footballing city, a bit like Newcastle is, like, Sunderland fans will really enjoy having like the voice in the club again, because that's what made football great back in the day. Like you'd have meetings, and fans would have a massive say in the club, and Sunderland will have the feeling that they've got the club back, which is a feeling we'll all get when Ashley finally sells up and leaves. But that's one aspect. I think Sunderland are way ahead, and I think next year as much as it pains us to say it, I think they'll have enough about them to go up into the Championship, because I think financially, I think they're still above a lot of teams in that division. The pull of Sunderland will attract higher end League One players to get the job done and get them promoted, because believe it or not, there will be a couple of players thinking, oh, Sunderland, good fan base, things like that, great away support.
What they need is the proven manager in League One. So you've got Neil Warnock in the Championship, who's proven. So Cardiff went down. It makes no sense for Cardiff to change a manager, because he is proven to get a Championship club up to the Premier League.
A name for them, Liam, Clough.
What, Nigel?
Yeah, Nigel Clough. Like his dad played for Sunderland briefly when he was a player.
And Middlesbrough as well.
And Middlesbrough, so he gets the area, you get the support, and that's the one club his dad always wanted to manage. Sunderland, I'm happy he didn't, man, because he would have won a couple of trophies if he did. But like, that's the one club the Clough family didn't manage, and I think Nigel Clough would feel like he owes it to his dad to go there. So I think Nigel Clough would be a really good shout for him, to be fair, because I think
Kenny Jackett.
Yeah, Jackett would be a good. Redfern.
He might be coming to us, Neil Redfern.
No, it's Michael Appleton, not Appleton, not Redfern.
If I was a Sunderland owner, Jack Ross has to go.
Yeah,
of course. He's got to get that club. He's got a lot of finances. He's got players that should be playing at a higher level, 2 or 3 of them. And for me, he did not get Sunderland promoted. He has to go. And that's what I'd be thinking if I'm a Sunderland fan, because Sunderland fans are now having to have another season in League One where the restrictions are going to get tighter for finances. That means the calibre...
They go to Wembley again.
They might do. They might have another trip to Wembley. Might start swimming in the Trafalgar Square and all that. But the quality of players coming in will be now coming down a notch even further.
Yeah, of
because
course.
the financial reasons, they get restricted as well. So.
Yeah, it is going to be tough for them, but if I was a Sunderland fan, God forbid, but if I was, Nigel Clough would probably be my shout, like. But on to Gateshead now. I mean, it's been a big week for the Heat. The supporters club at Gateshead have bought the club, but there has been consequences of that. They've been kicked out of the Football League. They've been deducted points, which has put them down to 17th in the table. I mean, a couple of weeks ago on this show, we were talking about they've just missed out on the playoffs, and now the 17th, which just shows how close it is in that division, because only got deducted 9 points. But on to you, Peter. What do you think? What's the situation with Gateshead? Like, what do you see happening going forward?
Oh, it's a bit of a tough one, but I think they've got to get someone in shortly that will get them back into that conference, and hopefully try and get them further up the leagues as well. Because
of course,
it would be definitely an opportunity for them.
The problem is, I think, is if they get kicked down to the amateur leagues. I mean, there's plenty of teams that have shown that a rebuild job is possible. I mean, look at Wimbledon recently. They're now in the third tier of English football, a bit like where rivals are. But they've shown the recovery is possible. I mean, I think it happened to Leyton Orient a couple of years ago. They've built back up. There's plenty of teams there that have shown that even going down to the amateur leagues isn't...
It's not set in stone yet that they've been kicked out yet.
I mean, the appeal could still go through, and there could still be a conference side next season, which fingers crossed there are, but it doesn't mean the club dies if it doesn't. So the fans, as they've now got the club, it's now their club again. Whatever the problem is, I'm sure they'll be able to get through it, and they'll be able to get a club that is together again. They can unite the people of Gateshead again, and I mean, I've got me notes here. I mean, how would this affect the local area if they don't play? What would happen to the stadium? Like,
well, they haven't got a stadium at the minute because the council have took it off because of debt.
So where would they play? Would they have
I know
the
there's talk of South Shields. There's talk of going over to Kingston Park. The whole thing is an absolute mess because did you see Company Houses where they changed the director to this new guy? Sorry, I don't know his name. And then it was changed. He was removed off it. Fans are upset, they're angry. Who's the owner? Who is the owner? Nobody knows what's going on.
It is a mess at the moment.
And
it is, yeah. But the one silver lining is they've removed the person that's caused all these problems.
Dr. Vichy,
whatever his name is. He caused all the problems at that team. And now they can. Now it's at an early stage, but there's a chance for them to rebuild.
I'm worried that the club will die. That's the only thing.
Oh, I don't think Gateshead will die.
No,
I think it could be rebranded.
I think they'll rebuild again.
I think it'd be very similar to Darlington if it fails. And look at Darlington, they're going through the leagues now. I think they're in the Conference South.
Yeah, there's
the Conference North. But
make sure you get your geography right.
Yeah, get my geography right. I'm a bit off me note with that one. But
south of us.
But yeah, I think even if they go into the amateur leagues, there is a chance for them to rebuild there. So whatever happens with Gateshead, I think over this summer, it's going to be a monumental job for them. But
got no players.
They'll get there, even if I have to go and play for Gateshead on a weekend. Lee,
no, we've seen your performance more.
No, I didn't play too bad. I mean, for playing in a team that lost 11-1, I think as a defender I played all right. I mean, the manager would disagree, but
yes,
but you know,
more on the manager,
more on the team and the management of our charity team later on. But to conclude this section, what do you do with Gateshead? What would you like to see happen? Would you like to see them in the amateur league or stay in the conference?
I would like to see the bigger teams in the area help them out, get the loan lads out, and if it helps Sunderland.
I mean, a payout of Mike Ashley. Are you sure, mate?
Get some under 18s, get some under 23s who need that football ability. Get them out, help them out. And you know, why can't they do a food bank or something, or a charity event somewhere around? I
think it's time to help Gateshead out. Like even if we give them what, a couple of $100,000, it would be massive for Gateshead, because the comparison in football with the levels in football in terms of money is unbelievable. And I think Gateshead going forward, if it means they're down in the amateur leagues, it gives them a chance to rebuild. But if they're staying in the conference, it's going to be a hard job for them going forward.
I meant to say go ad break. You meant to tell her like
sorry.
So tell the listener that we're going for an ad break.
Alright, we're going for an ad break, everyone.
No, we're on that break.
We're on the ad break, everyone. Sorry.
People can't hear us.
From 10 p.m. with resident DJ Graham Robertson in the mix, playing you Clubland classics, Melbourne bounce and dance anthems until 3 a.m. Sunday morning.
Every game, every goal, we've got it covered on Anyone FM Sports Zone. This is Anyone FM.
Hello everyone, coming up on the Football Fan Zone on Anyone FM and live on YouTube. Newcastle have announced their pre-season schedule with only 4 friendlies to announce. Is this enough in comparison to seasons before, with the trips to Singapore, away to Hibs and home to St Etienne, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. And also in our final section of the show, we'll be discussing all things in the Premier League, as well as our upcoming charity match with Borough Fan TV on Sunday. So lads, the pre-season schedule's been announced. It's been announced that we're going to Singapore first for the Asia Trophy.
Hong Kong.
Well, Hong Kong.
China.
Different country.
It's the same continent, isn't it? I was near or thereabouts. I mean, we're potentially playing Wolves, which would be at 11 a.m. UK time, which I suppose isn't too bad. Get up and watch the tune, and then just go crack on from there. And then that would be on the Wednesday the 17th of July, so not bad for a Wednesday. If you're at work, it's a bit of a bummer, like. But
Yeah, that's me.
Couple of days later,
Peter's not happy about that one, is he?
Working on a Wednesday, unfortunately.
Sorry, I work in the broadcasting company, so I can watch it. So I'm not.
No.
Couple of days later, Saturday the 20th of July, Newcastle could play either Man City or West Ham in the Asia Trophy again. But I mean, the three good teams there. I mean, you could possibly
Higher
see with the worst
opposition,
there.
isn't it, than what we used to.
Higher end opposition, because we used to play in like last season it was St Pat's and Shamrock Rovers and like them types of teams. It's a nice warm up to start the pre-season because there's a good chance we might get a win, but straight at the deep end, Man City. I mean, we'll beat them earlier in the league, so anything's possible. But
you just don't know what teams are getting put out though.
It's nice to see win like a
little competition.
A little competition on Sky. I mean, if we win, we can say we won a trophy. I mean, does that count? I mean, people in the comments.
Right, I'm leaving. I'm off. Yeah. If you're classing that as a trophy, you may as well chuck the Intertoto in there.
Oh god,
we did win the Intertoto Cup, so I mean, as Newcastle fans, we've got to take everything that we'll get. Which, if it's a pre-season trophy, I mean, we won one in 2013. I remember Colaccini holding up this bridge-like trophy that won on penalties in Argentina. So I count that as a trophy.
I hope no Sunderland fans are listening right now.
I mean, they've got no room to talk. They're in division. They're in tier 3 of English football and played Burton Albion for a 3rd consecutive season. So, but going a bit off topic, I need to get back on topic to our pre-season schedule. Tuesday the 30th of July, 7:45 kick-off. We'll go to Hibs in Easter Road. I mean, that's one I've been eyeing up. I seen that and I was like, right, calendar set, signed, sealed, delivered. We're going to Hibs. I mean, a nice away day in Scotland. I think it'll be similar to Hearts a couple of years ago in the Championship pre-season.
Yep.
A lot of Geordies going up. Hopefully a win, but we're going, Lee.
I hope so. Obviously, we're not going to have expenses to fly halfway around the world to go to Hong Kong at daft times, are we? So we'll probably watch that. But yeah, I think the first two, I like it because it's a higher opposition calibre. I still think we're lacking one. I do. I don't think 4's enough. But you've got to consider that when we fly out to Hong Kong, the lads, they're going to be training a lot and it's going to be very sticky, humid. The lads, I think it would be slow-paced, both games that we play.
To be fair, though, Lee, they're not there that long, is it? Cause
I think they're going to be there about a week, aren't they?
It's literally a case of a week, and that's it.
So a week of 35 degrees, you can barely breathe.
But it's nice for them, though, because the players, they get to travel the world a bit, because Newcastle aren't used to playing continental football, they're not used to playing elsewhere other than England, so it'd be nice to play these teams in different surroundings.
You just don't know what team they're going to, because Manchester City might have an under-18s.
We know from our subscribers we've got a lot of international fans and some maybe from this area of the world that have a chance to go and see Newcastle play, which is great. It gets them involved.
Look, let's not kid ourselves, it's all about money.
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, with the TV deals that are involved.
It's not about that. It's about obviously making merch and getting the revenue and your brand out in Asia. That's all it's about.
I mean, it is good for Newcastle because we have got a couple of Asian players that, in terms of merch sales, they'll skyrocket. They're like Mutu and Su Yong Ki. There's loads of merch sales there. I mean, will it go on the transfer budget? Probably not, but you've got to live in hope with these situations.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Hibs one is literally just a couple of hours drive up to Edinburgh. You're straight up the A1. It's not really difficult to get to. That's the one I think we could actually sell out the full goal. I reckon we could literally sell 4,000 or 5,000 out.
Well, as long as we're there. I mean,
we'll be there. The St Etienne one, look, and long gone are the days where you play your Barcelonas and your Juventus.
St Etienne's a big one. It'd be the return of Remy Cabella and return of Matteo Debuchy if they're still a part of St Etienne, which is interesting. I mean, Remy Cabella was only at Newcastle for one season before he went back out on loan and had a failed time.
Well, put it this way, Tauvin put him out of the Marseille squad. Yes, I know Tauvin's a different player, but you know what I mean.
And then Matteo Debuchy, I mean, in terms of right backs, I think this decade, I think he's definitely one of our better full backs, because I think that when he was at Newcastle, was a statistic that he was the best right back in Europe, which he was playing out of his skin.
It's sentimental for him to come, but I don't really care. Sorry, but I'm cold-hearted.
I mean, fair enough, but like I did like to I liked Matteo Debussy at Newcastle, and I still don't think we've replaced him really, because with the poor seasons Yedlin and Manquillo, and before that Jan Madhard, it's like he is the last good right back that we've had, so it will be sentimental for him, and that is on Saturday the 3rd of August, so not long after. I mean, do you expect another pre-season friendly to be announced? Because last year there was another pre-season friendly announced, and I think it was, if I remember correctly, I think we played a lower league side away from home.
Well, if you look at that list, you talk about 17th is quite late to have your first pre-season game, because most clubs start looking at before the 10th, don't they?
The thing is, so Lee, what you've got to consider is we're probably the one club in the league that don't know what's going on. Like, we don't know if we've got one manager in place, or we haven't thought about signing players. I know we've been linked with players, don't get us wrong, but we haven't been in the market to officially buy anyone. Late to the party, messing about as the Newcastle board always do. So ideally, in an ideal world, who would you want this other friendly to be? Would you like to be just down the M1 straight down?
Why don't you go and help the local sides out? Gateshead,
I think
Hartlepool. I was thinking of
I mean,
Hartlepool.
we touched on this before
nice
with Gateshead helping the local sides out. I think a game against Gateshead would be great, especially in the time that they're in the hard time that they're having at the club. I think
if we do play a local side, don't send the under-23s.
We could help the local sides out, like Sunderland, you know.
Send the first team, Hartlepool, Darlington. I mean, Gateshead. Those three are massive.
I'd love a local team tour. I mean, it'd be great for us away days. Go to Darlington, go to Hartlepool.
Trip down.
I mean, just
in the car, man. We didn't get the train. Just the prices of trains.
Well, I'll have to, because I don't drive.
It's 400 quid for
we'll touch on it later, but getting down to Shildon for this match at the weekend, the train prices are mad. I mean, and for a taxi, it's like 250 quid just to get there and back. Mental, man. But back on top of Newcastle's pre-season and anyway, but ideally for me, I think I'd agree with Liam saying Gateshead away would be a nice warm-up game.
Them in the first
it
team.
might even be before the Asia Cup that's announced. Like with it being a later date for the first friendly, it could be a case that we'll play one or two friendlies before we'll go out to Singapore, because chucking them straight at the deep end against Wolves, I think is.
Well, you know, we talk about Rafa having control. Peter, I'll ask you this one.
Go on then.
Rafa wouldn't have wanted that Asian trophy.
No,
he would have wanted that weekend. No,
Rafa has said in the past that he preferred.
No, he would have won Ireland more than that. Come on, he loves going to Ireland, having his squad together for a week. Yes, playing a small, low-key game. You would have wanted that, and we would have went.
Yeah,
we were planning to go to Ireland.
We were planning to go.
What happened?
Thanks. But out of those 4 games, which one are you looking at and thinking, I'm eyeing up that one?
All Geordies are saying the Hibs game, like, cause
it's got to be, isn't it?
It's Hibs or definitely St Etienne at home.
Because Tuesday, 30th of July, the Geordie nation is heading straight up. I mean, I pray I'm one of them, like, but it's gonna be good, like. But moving on, what do you think of Miguel Almiron's situation with playing in the
Copa America,
and then going on to Singapore and play set up? Nothing to be tiring for him going at the start of the season.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Let's get them hammered in the live chat. The money went up. I don't think it helps Newcastle that Miguel Almiron is just come back from injury and then he's going to play in the Copa America. But then there's also, luckily, we don't have Mutu playing, but we've got Christian Atsu in the African Cup of Nations as well. Whether you think Atsu's a great player or not, it doesn't help Newcastle at all, because these lads are going to come back from pre-season late, so they might actually miss this Asian trophy and come back unfit, because look, they'll be knackered.
I mean,
it's not great.
Miggy Almiron's been going since the since the start of the American season, which is a bit.
He did get a month or two off.
It starts. The American season roughly starts around
January.
Around
the pre-season kicks in January.
Exactly. So he had a couple of months off, but it has been difficult for him. Like, he hasn't had the time off that most players get over the summer and things like that. So he is going to be tired, and I think it wouldn't surprise me is if Rafa just tells him to, like, go home for the week, like, tell him to go and sightsee, because he's got to and keep him for Hibs, and hopefully he can get his first couple of goals for Newcastle and Hibs. Nice trip up to Edinburgh. But yeah, I think I wouldn't surprise if Miguel Almiron's given a break because.
Are you missing football? Because I am now. It's like it's starting to.
It's starting to kick in, but with things like the playoffs and that, there's still football
Europa
there.
League and but
with the whole situation with it being in Baku and tensions between Armenia and Azerbaijan and the ridiculous claims that the likes of Mkhitaryan can't go.
Yeah,
I mean, Arsenal fans are
Sorry,
very
we'll
annoyed about that. We'll touch on that later. And anyway, but
I'm at a point now where I'm starting to like. I haven't seen a Newcastle game for 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
It's
starting to eat it a little bit.
It's going to be. I mean, I've got time off at uni as well, so
I might even go look at an under 23 pre-season game and just get that buzz
just to feed the addiction that is
missing
football.
Definitely. You just think weekends become so boring when there's no football on to watch it all.
Tell us about your because we didn't really talk about YouTube stuff as well. What did tell everyone what you do? Because people might be this guy sitting here. Who the hell is he?
I think I've had the channel for a canny few years.
Which channel is this? Sorry,
my PD Proudlock channel.
PD Proudlock YouTube channel. Links in the description.
At first, it was going anywhere at first, but then I got a few tips off you, Lee, saying like, go and like record in various locations, collaborate with people. Well, Archer's one of my regulars on my channel. Hello, Archer, if you're watching. Right, good laugh, the lad. And
see, I do help other YouTubers.
Yeah.
There's this myth going on that I don't help other YouTubers, and well, I clearly do. And I try and advise, look, this might work for you. Go and do that. Get a mic. Biggest thing you can YouTubers sound.
He's came on leaps and bounds, hasn't he? He's got his own mic now. I mean, I laughed at him a little bit for having his Disco Stew mic, but he's recently changed that.
The little pen shape.
Yeah,
the
Disco
I've forgotten that actually.
I felt like singing Queen or something when you were putting in my face after matches, but
Queen.
but no, you've came on leaps and bounds. You can tell the editing's there. You're really pushing forward as a YouTuber, and I think if you keep it going, you'll hit 1,000.
How
many subs you on at the minute?
Not far from 400.
Not far from 400, but
I think what I've noticed about your qualities is the video quality itself, because I don't know what you used to record on.
It was just me camera, me webcam and my laptop.
Do you know if you're on like a spaceship out in space? Hello, you're Newcastle. sound like, but then the audio's much better.
Yeah, the microphone I've got.
Picture is 1080, looks
and
much
like,
better.
Yeah, starting to record in various locations.
It's a learning curve. It's been a big season for him though. He's had Troops on. I
had Troops on when we played Arsenal. I wouldn't mind getting some like more of those kind of YouTubers.
Got to get yourself to more away games.
Yes, that's the thing.
That's probably where you're going to catch.
I mean, you went to West Ham last season.
Yes.
We bumped into him a couple of times.
We did.
Peterborough, and then at the ground itself.
Peterborough, we bumped into him at the. I can't remember what it's called.
One of the service stations.
The service station.
Peterborough, that was it.
Service station. We bumped into him about 5 times.
That's when I hand of coffee or something.
I actually don't recall seeing it, but at West Ham, I seen you on the way down.
Yeah, I think I caught you in the.
So, what's your hopes for your channel?
Hopefully.
You mentioned you want to get more like bigger profiles on.
Yes, and definitely try and reach a 1,000 subscribe target.
I mean, it is possible.
Be the biggest.
YouTubers that we've helped in the past, like you've helped in the past, like likes of 100% NUFC and Alicia FC, they've made these subscriber targets as well. So obviously they can, so you can too. So
please, go now if you are watching, pop over PD Proudlock in YouTube. You're a fellow Newcastle YouTuber. We want to support everybody who does it as well. So.
Okay, so moving on from PD Proudlock's YouTube channel, it's a bit of a sad one to bring up, but a Newcastle fan, Michael Collins, received a 5-year ban from the stadium due to racially abusing Liverpool players, and it's a hard topic to bring up.
It's an easy one.
I mean, it's obviously it's stupidity from the fan in question, but I don't know why you do something like that, just because it jeopardises watching your team for 5 years. I mean, what do you think of it, Peter?
There's just no need for racism at football as well. I mean,
no, of course not.
Well, look at what Raheem Sterling's been, people like that been coming out with, and if you're caught doing it, you're going to face the consequences.
Yeah.
It's not just that. You talk about a ban, you'll lose his job probably.
His job.
You'll have a criminal record, I would have thought, if it goes to court.
Yeah. I mean, Sterling has been one of the front runners against racism this season, and credit to him. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Raheem Sterling. I know the media have him as a bit of a scapegoat at times, but I think Raheem Sterling's one of the front runners to really,
for me, he's
really
player
tackle
of the
this.
year on and off the pitch.
Yeah, he's been absolutely phenomenal for Man City this season, and in terms of fighting racism, he's been great because he wants harsher treatment.
More people to be aware.
He's thinking it's alright wearing a couple of t-shirts now and then, but it's not working. You need harsher punishments. You need
Is 5 year ban enough? Because it's all football, isn't it?
I think for an individual, I think a 5 year ban is enough, but I feel it doesn't. I think
you don't know the circumstances, do you? Because that game.
To touch on what Raheem said, harsher punishments are needed. Like he was talking about points deductions. I mean, to punish a whole football club, I think it is a harsh way of.
Brave, man, the club doing this.
It'd be very brave to do something like that.
Have you ever noticed Newcastle doing this? I've never seen this before.
No,
it's very unlike.
Recently,
it's very unlike it
Newcastle
happening.
normally brush it on the carpet and move on, don't they?
It's good of them to front out the fan that did it and like obviously let people know. It's a clear message to anyone if the racistic games, like this is what's going to happen. You're not going to be a part of the fan base because obviously all. Like,
that'll kill him. That'll kill him because he's a season ticket holder, going like we do every week, every game. We talk about that drug there, the need, and you're missing the football. He has to be cut off from the whole world, not just Newcastle, because he lives in Richmond, I believe he's from, which is what, North Yorkshire.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Paul's neck of the woods. Hi, Paul, if you're watching. But that is going to kill him because the tensions of that game. We can all talk about the Liverpool fans. That probably didn't help. I'm not excusing what he did, but I can imagine, we don't know the circumstances, but the heated on there will probably be pushed them.
Probably think to what have I done? What have I done?
I mean, I get the hostility like at a home match. Like
there's no excuse for it.
There's no excuse for racism.
Not.
Like I've been there myself where you call them and. You're angry at a referee decision or something like that, but racism just isn't tolerated in football.
It's like
for me.
people with disabilities will feel very insulted if they said something bad about that.
Or even homophobia and things like that.
Absolutely.
It's all the problem that needs tackled in football, and I think Newcastle, to be fair to them, have done a good job of sorting that out. They've got the call up thing now, so if there's racism or be it discrimination in football, you can press a button or something and someone will come and assist you. I think that's really good. So. Just to last touch on it, do you think Newcastle could do more or less? Or
until you have facts.
True. Okay. So we're heading to an ad break now.
Every game, every goal, we've got it covered on Anyone FM Sports Zone. This is Anyone FM.
When it comes to choosing how to put your money to work, there are countless options available. For almost 50 years, people have been turning to Lowe's for reliable, independent financial
Premier
advice.
League prediction for
We
my
have
channel
thousands of
and get Archer's
satisfied
comment and
clients
you think
who
we'll
would
finish in
recommend
the
Lowe's
Champions
to
League
help
next
you
season.
All right, okay.
build and safeguard your financial future. For more information and a free
Do you just
initial
want that
consultation,
Yeah.
give us a call
Where's the
on
point reading that out?
0191 281 8811
Because you say come
or
up now.
visit our
So I'm
website
just going to use that and then
lowe's.co.uk. Lowe's Financial
talk about the
Management,
Borough
where
TV now.
personal
Or the build
finances
up to
are
the
final
cared
section.
for personally,
As well as reviewing.
And then
authorised
just
and
turn it over.
regulated by the
As well as
Financial
reviewing the rest.
Conduct Authority.
Every game, every goal, we've got it covered on Anyone FM Sports Zone. This is Anyone FM.
Hello everyone, coming up on the Football Fan Zone on Anyone FM and live on YouTube. This is our last section of the programme. We'll be reviewing our game against ASAP. The channel had a charity match for the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation and how that went and our thoughts in the studio, as well as the upcoming match against Borough Fan TV this Sunday live on our YouTube channel, Newcastle Fans TV. Obviously, if you're listening and watching from the chat, you'll know, as well as our others listening. And the second part will be just all things Premier League, featuring Arsenal's situation with Mkhitaryan, as well as Pulisic's move to Chelsea, as well as Solskjaer targeting youngsters, more established players. So, on to the ASAP game last weekend. What do you think, Lee? I'll bring it on to you first, as you were in goal for the second half.
Done pretty well, didn't I?
I thought the second half was a bit better, but the final score, for those that don't know, we lost 11-1 to ASAP's side. They did win a Sunday League title
whatever it was.
very recently, so it was a tough ask from the beginning. But in that first half, we were 8-0 down going into half time. I mean, what do you did you watch a stream, Peter, at all? You did. What did you think from an outsider's perspective?
Oh, what do you think?
Be kind.
Oh, God.
I think you just said it. Oh God. But we touched upon it last week. Last week's streamed quite a bit talking about the match, and I think it's just a class of difference. They've got very fit lads.
I mean, I looked at the stream, and the camera was quite a far way
Probably
out.
a good thing.
And I was so happy because the embarrassment of that first half, man. I mean, they just came on was so quick. It was just we were 1-0 down within 40 seconds. The hit were hard and the hit were quick, like. And I mean, is there any out of the first half? What do you think the negatives were? Do you think maybe the management could have changed something quicker? Do you think the players could have been a bit better? The sub situation.
Nobody knew where really everybody played. I think it's more about them rather than us. I think we're just playing a quality outfit who are fit, who are lean, and play football regularly on a Saturday and a Sunday. We've just got a taught lesson, and I'm more optimistic about the next one coming up because we're playing against like a team that are similar.
I mean, to be like, you hear it a lot in football, like these players have never met each other before. A lot of that team had literally never met each other before, and it took about 70 minutes to put 3 passes together. I mean, it was shambolic at times. I mean, I remember because I was captain on Sunday, and I tried.
I was meant to be captain.
You were meant to be captain, but you had to focus on the stream.
I had to focus on the media stream. More on that for the week.
You had to focus on the media stream throughout the week, as you said, and more of that later in the week. But in that first half, man, like it was an absolute nightmare. I mean, people can probably see from the comments. I can see a lot of laughing emojis, but it was pretty embarrassing. I just thought that the swarmed on we tried to. I mean, I thought the one critique I had, I says after 5 minutes that we needed to go to a back five, and I shouted that, and it just wasn't changed, and we changed towards it at half time, and in that second half, on the contrast of things, we only lost 3-1 in the second half. I mean, to say we only lost 3-1 in the second half is abysmal by all accounts, and slate us all you like, but in comparison to 8-0, it's a much improved effort from the team, taking into consideration how bad we were in that first half. And we even had a couple of chances towards the end. I recall my mate Guy getting a one-on-one chance with the keeper and spooning it about 25 foot over the bar.
Shocking.
But, absolutely shocking. I mean, shout out to you, mate, but you had a howler with that one. But, I mean, we had a couple of chances on the counter-attack. I mean, 2 of the 3 chances we had were caused through my mates. I mean, they did really well in comparison to last year.
Yeah, like I say, I think we covered a lot of it last week, and I think it was just a case of, look, the ability outshone. I think that's all it's down to. Last year we blamed the weather and the straw. We kind of the pitch. This year we can't. But I think this weekend, look, in all aspects, all about raising money. That's why we do
it. Charity wins at the end. I know ASAP Hamad were 11-1, but you've got to look at it from the positive side.
If you can donate, please do. We've raised over £173.
The links are in the description for the Sir Bobby Robson charity and things like that. I mean, it's very important to all of us as Newcastle fans to raise money for such a great man. Just in football terms of how we played, it wasn't very good against ASAP. And there was a lot wrong with that team.
I'm going to spin it on a positive. That's how I'm going to work it. We've got 30 players to choose from this Sunday, allegedly. Oh. What do you think of that? Peter, what do you think of 30 players? Do you think that's organised?
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
You think that's organised? We've definitely got a lot of players. Some players, have been told no as well, which is a little bit unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, my mates who caused 2 of the 3 chances. I think 3 of them played really well. have been recklessly dropped from the squad. But it's the manager. The manager says, the manager goes. It's one of them. I mean, I have full faith that you'll be able to deliver the goods. But 30 players at the weekend, Mark, I really hope you know what you're doing. Myself and Lee won't be playing in the game on Sunday. I mean,
I'll be looking after the media side.
We're going to be doing the interviews and things like that and handling the stream, so you can actually see the game in the first half.
We might even commentate as well.
And I think a live commentary. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think a commentary would be really good? I mean, I'm still seeing laughing emojis from Arsenal FC. I mean, you've got some nerve giving laughing emojis with us.
I think they're just bantering off each other in the chat.
But yeah,
keep an eye on the YouTube videos. If you can donate, it'll be fantastic. Yeah. However, more shall be revealed on why me and Kyle are not playing and looking after the media for the week.
Well, to touch on though, 30 players.
That's a great choice of pool to choose from.
I mean, there's going to be various
people who don't even know.
Various qualities, people who don't know, all involved. But
it should be a brilliant day. Stay tuned.
To add us to that wouldn't make sense. It makes it 32. I mean, not most Premier League teams don't even use 32 players in an entire season. So to use 32 in one game is really impressive.
I've got a serious question for you, Peter.
Go on then.
What do you make of YouTube channels coming together and raising money for foundation and charity?
Brilliant idea to get. I think it's fantastic to see people doing that.
Out of their own time.
I've never seen anything like this ever again.
Oh, don't you sound like that. I'm going to get Rob a couple of comments shortly. but yeah, please donate if you can. It'd be fantastic. It should be.
As I will say, charity does win.
It will. The charity comes first, but stay tuned. This will be an interesting week.
Charity might win, but we might not.
No, we definitely won't. Swiftly moving on, I think.
But swiftly moving on to topics in the Premier League.
Yeah. So we're coming off the tune then.
Yeah, coming off the tune in general. I mean. So if you're a Newcastle fan, it's just general Premier League stuff now. First topic of debate for us is the Europa League final in Baku, Azerbaijan. First of all, what do you think of a final of such importance being put in Azerbaijan?
I think that there's a lot of questions going to be asked. I've seen AFTV doing this as well, thinking, why have they put it in that area of the world?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I watched Robbie's video take on it, and I think he's got nothing against the city. I mean, it's a beautiful city. They went to that part of the world in the Europa League campaign, so the note's a nice place. But I think to host a final I think it's a bit much.
It is.
I think it's the powers that be again, the likes of UEFA and people like that, just making a mock of things, and you don't for fans to go all the way out there. Ticket prices is another thing.
I heard it's supposed to be ridiculous.
In a 65,000 seater stadium, 8,000 allocation each.
What?
And they're not even going to fill that. It's going to be 5,000 in total from Chelsea and Arsenal fans, which is a joke.
It's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to feel like another testimonial.
They're gonna sell it to these sponsors, and then they'll sell it on. What are they playing at?
Exactly.
They haven't helped. UEFA haven't helped the fans.
They never do though. They line their own pockets. They never think of the fans. I mean, again touching on AFTV, the hotels are $1,000. The flights they're talking nearly $3,000 for an away day.
Yeah.
That it's an absolute
it's a lot
disgrace.
for a fan. I think. I think once you get to the final 8 of whatever competition, the Champions League or the Europa League, you look at those 8 clubs, which are normally the bigger clubs.
Yeah.
And I'm not against hosting it in, say, like a Baku. It's just the planning around it. So when you have the final 8 clubs, say, okay, you've got 2 from Germany, 1 from Italy, 1 from France, blah, blah, blah. Okay, play Central Europe or play literally to the west side. Why are you having a
So
game?
you think they should allocate a stadium later on in the season?
Rather than earlier on.
And then it tailors to these teams. I mean, I completely agree, but I think...
Because it's easier for the fans to travel.
I don't think fans of both sides would mind if the ticket prices weren't.
But it's so
ridiculous.
awkward to get there because you've got to go through 2 or 3 countries. You can't fly direct.
No, it's a nightmare for them. I really feel for them. Like,
was that AFTV when they went away for that to change somewhere? And
wait, if you look at Azerbaijan, man, it's like it's hitting Asia. It's
yeah,
like
it is.
Exactly.
It's
not really Europe,
it's like
is it?
Australia.
It's like they might as well host the final where we're playing in our pre-season tour.
You could have a lot of Asian fans easier get that game.
Yeah.
Than it would. It's mental, man. The Mkhitaryan, I'm sure you're going to bring that up. That mean,
you've touched on it brilliantly. I mean, Mkhitaryan can't even play in this final due to political reasons with Armenian.
First, he was like, he should be all right to play. He said there'll be protection and all that, and then they've come out and said this, and you're thinking, where the hell's that just come from?
It's just an absolute mess from UEFA. They've just made a complete mess of everything, from the ticketing prices to the allocation to where it is to how they've handled the situation with Mkhitaryan.
I mean, you just thought because the Europa League, the competition had started to get a reputation for being a good competition, especially if you win it, because Arsenal, no doubt,
it takes a high caliber team to win it now. It's not like it's
always a team from England or Spain.
It's going to take a good team to win this competition now, like a really good side. Like you can.
How do you fancy
to win the final? I think Arsenal are going to win it.
I'm backing Arsenal.
I think Unai Emery's experience in this competition is absolutely unbelievable.
It is.
He's won 3 in a row, something there, 4 in a row.
Be the first manager win.
Take that game against Valencia, where you looked at Lacazette and Aubameyang, they were absolutely bang on fire. And if them two turn up in the final, I think.
Valencia are a good side. They've just beat Barcelona in the Copa del Rey today. So the name mugs and Arsenal brushed them aside. They beat them at Valencia Stadium, and it's just a complete mess, top to bottom. Mkhitaryan can't even go, and he's been one of Arsenal's key players in that tournament, and he can't even play.
People, a lot of Arsenal fans have been on his back a lot this season. I've heard.
Got a lot more to come Mkhitaryan, but it's a shame that he's not playing.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a shambles of how that's happened.
But on the subject of Arsenal and Chelsea in the Europa League final, we'll touch on Chelsea now, who's just recently signed Christian Pulisic. I mean, it was announced earlier in the window, but do you actually see him as a direct replacement for Eden Hazard, or do you see him playing alongside Hazard in Chelsea's team next season?
This is a tough one because Chelsea can't bring in anybody else.
No. This is the last signing for a long time.
Probably, I think, with just the ban and prospect with Chelsea, I think that'll be delayed because if they appeal to the European Court of whatever I can't pronounce it. To basically the major court in Europe, if they have that delayed, they will be able to sign people. So if they can't, Hazard's off. If they can sign players, Hazard's away.
Definitely.
All past couple of weeks now, it's been is Hazard going to Real Madrid? I mean, would he fit in Real Madrid? Yeah. I think he really would.
They need that.
They need like a high profile player.
I think if Hazard went to Real Madrid, he wouldn't play out wide. He'd become this striker.
Because the Spanish league is slower than the English league.
Technical,
it'll suit him down to a T. Like I think he'd score 20, 30 goals.
Madrid play 4-3-3 formation, don't they? A bit like Chelsea have been playing.
Yeah.
It suits him down to a T, but Real Madrid and Chelsea are struggling at a fee at the minute. Chelsea won 120 million. 130 million.
Worth it. With the way the fees are these
absolutely
days.
is worth it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, for Chelsea going forward, is it right for them to sell Hazard? I mean, is it the right time? Because as you've touched on, this transfer ban. I think personally, Chelsea, this is a great time for them to have a transfer ban. I mean, they've got about
many coming back.
They've got 600 players out on loan.
Yeah.
It's time to see if these are actually any
Kennedy.
good. I mean,
Kennedy.
they can take Kennedy. I don't want him back, but
Lewis
like,
Bacon, another one on loan.
I mean, Chelsea have got such a good youth system there, and I think they don't use it enough.
Lewis Bacon, I've heard one of them, I think.
They've got one
loads. You can name
loads
of the best youth facilities in the country and one of the better youth sides.
Funny
as well.
what money can do.
And Chelsea decide to buy players instead of bringing these players through. I mean, look at Loftus-Cheek. He'd fit in Newcastle side. He'd fit in most sides in the league. He'd be a star on our side. I mean, you look at the likes of players that have failed to make it through Chelsea's system. The likes of Nathan Ake, who've went on to become solid Premier League players, and these have failed in Chelsea's system because they've elected to buy other players instead of these youth players that are so talented. And I think now for Chelsea and Chelsea fans, it's a great time for them to have this ban because it'll weed out who is good enough to play for Chelsea and who they obviously need to get rid of.
Just asked there in the live chat, he said, can Kennedy play on Wednesday night? The answer is no, because he's not registered as a Chelsea player for this second half of the season.
I mean, would you want him to play for Chelsea in the final? Because the way he's been playing for Newcastle,
No.
he wouldn't do well. Because let's be serious, he had one good game for Newcastle last season. So.
I want you to ask the next one. I can see that written down because this will get the comments cannon. I'll let you go first on that one.
Go on.
So you want to ask the big question?
It has to be, doesn't it? Everyone talks about it every week.
Every week. So this is the question. Comments get involved. Who's had the better season this season? Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi?
I'm going to go with Lionel Messi.
To agree.
Tell me why.
I think it's just because of his goal and with Barcelona again winning the La Liga title, and particularly that free kick he also scored against Liverpool was like phenomenal. And you're thinking, when have you seen a free kick scored like that?
He scores about 6 of them a season, honestly.
To be fair, that's his standard.
Messi has really set the standard, and for someone that got 5th or 6th place in the Ballon d'Or last year,
that was criminal. He's not
criminal. I'm sorry, but Messi should have won it last
Messi
year.
Ronaldo every year. I mean, and yes, Modric had a great year, but nah.
Yeah, but
Modric cannot do the thing those two players.
Messi's got yet another golden boot. He's scored more goals than anybody in Europe. His assists are off the charts again. He's just a phenomenal player.
I am Team Messi. However, I will stick up for Ronaldo and say Ronaldo has not had his greatest season, but he has now done it in 3 major leagues, which Messi cannot say and do. And Ronaldo, yes, I know I'm taking it off this season, but he's gone, and probably some might argue that he was shouting on that touchline. He helped Portugal over that line to win the Euros. But going back to this season, Messi's
had a much better season.
But Ronaldo at 34 is still phenomenal.
Still doing well.
Ronaldo is something else. Like, honestly, he's such a fantastic player. He's so determined. I mean, he can be a bit arrogant at times. We all know that.
Arrogant.
Yeah, I mean, Penaldo, he's been called in the past because of the amount of penalties he gets, but he's a phenomenal talent. And obviously, and when we look back 20 years from now, the era of Messi and Ronaldo, people, I know with a lot of the fans, it's like, oh, who's a better player and things like that, but you've just got to appreciate the two of them while they're here. And the statistics are so similar in terms of over a long period of time, and they've both won everything there is to win at club level. And Ronaldo's went that step above and won the Euros in 2016. But absolutely phenomenal players, and
cannot argue.
You just cannot argue.
I think it's a cost of time with the majority of people. But as Ronaldo's now 34,
what are the comments saying? Are the comments saying Messi?
Let's have a look. Jordy says Messi. Alfie says Ronaldo. Jordy asks, is Messi the greatest ever?
Any shouts for Joselu?
Messi by far. Ayoze Messi is another one.
Messi.
It's splitting it.
Yeah, it's splitting. You will get that. I know a lot of my mates are Ronaldo based, and me
Messi,
dad.
Johnny.
Shout out to me dad who's listening. He's team Messi. He just thinks Messi's a much better player than Ronaldo, and he's a once in a lifetime kind of player. But I think I'm team Messi. But moving on from the Messi Ronaldo debate, the next one I've got here on my notes is: will Mauricio Pochettino be at Spurs within the next 2 seasons? That's a debate and a half.
That's a tough one because Real Madrid have got Zidane back, and that's probably the one where I looked at and thought that's where he could go. Yes, I know he's played for Espanyol in his playing days. Maybe eyes up the Barcelona job, PSG. There's not many places where he can go now.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the same. It is a toughy one, like.
But 2 years,
To be fair,
I'll say no.
If
I reckon he's gone.
If Man United don't come out the blocks this season,
Yeah.
I think they'll turn on Solskjaer really quickly because of how poorly they've ended this season.
Look to someone like
and then
Mauricio.
they'll probably look at Mauricio Pochettino because he was heavily linked with a job. Let's be serious. And I think Pochettino would be a good choice for Man United because he's.
I reckon he could be there next year. After that, nah. I think he's gone.
The one frustration Spurs fans probably have is the not taking the next step, and they're probably resent on your leaving.
I mean, they could win the Champions League yet.
They might win the Champions League, but in terms of the league, they don't have that like extra quality that Man City have. I know they have Harry Kane, I know they have Dele Alli, but imagine if they were to sign Gareth Bale in the summer, who I know is rumoured to be going elsewhere. Imagine if they were to sign Gareth Bale, like what they'd have next season. It would turn them into just a top 4 side into a Premier League contending side.
Spurs need 2 quality centre midfielders. For me,
I think they've already got good midfielders.
I think they have, but they haven't got the next level.
True. I mean, it is
central. I'm talking central.
Musa Sissoko's done more than Pogba this season at Man United.
Yeah, I'll go on that record. He has. What's next?
What's next on the list? We haven't even summed it up.
I would say no. I think he's off. In 2 years.
I think he'll still be at Spurs in 2 years.
I think one more year and then he'll be away.
So he's off.
Yes.
Right, the next debate, touching on Man United, is it right, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be targeting up-and-coming youngsters rather than established players? Yes. Absolutely. I mean,
no.
Man United's class of 92 was based on this method, bringing in young players and building them up, and Man United haven't done that for such a long time now. They've went for big names, they went for Mourinho went for Pogba, Sanchez, and now look at the mess in. They've got these big names on big money contracts, and none of them could give a hell about Man United. They really couldn't.
I've got to disagree with you. I think because Man U will have to get back to where they were and signing.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
Let's just say they get Longstaff. Let's just say they get a couple of youngsters, Swansea lads, whatever.
You've got to compare them to Manchester City.
They've got to get up.
Guardiola's brought in these up-and-coming players and developed them and made them really good players. And now look at them, they've scored nearly 200 points in 2 seasons.
I think, if you look at it, I think Man City could go and get youngsters. Maybe Liverpool can, but Man United can't. Man United have got to get back into that being that
it's
top.
Man United need to go through this transitional phase.
I'm not being disrespectful to Sean Longstaff. Sean Longstaff is not taking Man United to the next level. Yes, I love Sean Longstaff, but he isn't.
I'd rather he took Newcastle to the next level instead of Man United.
Man United need to be going for world class players. Not. Yes, I know they've got some bad eggs in the basket and they need shifted out, but youth development, Man United will not improve. They've got to go, for me, big names.
I think they've got to go with younger talent and build up. They need that transitional phase.
Then you've got to give Solskjaer
because when
time.
they brought when they brought the foundations of their squad in, which is Alexia Sane's, Kevin De Bruyne, they're not well-renowned names. They're on the cusp of being great players, but the question is asked: are they going to make the step up? And they have under Guardiola, under his coaching and things like that.
The question probably is if Solskjaer is allowed to do that, is he going to be given the time? Because if he's allowed to go and get youth, you cannot sack him.
I mean, the board have said they're going to give him the same amount of time as they give Ferguson, Van Gaal. But I think if
they start badly, I think the fans will go out on Solskjaer's back and then
touch on that.
I think
so. Having world-class players will probably have a less chance of that happening.
I know there's a couple of Man United supporters that are very loyal to the club and things like that, but 95% of them are very fickle. And they'll turn
that's because they watch from a TV from a long distance.
They'll turn on the players, they'll turn on the manager in an instant. I know there's some that wouldn't, but the majority outweighs the fear in this instance.
That's because Man United have a million fans around the world who sit there with a remote, relying on a picture satellite coming through.
Being the biggest club in the world in terms of fan base is a great thing, but it's also a hindrance for them as well, because them fans won't give there won't be anything for them in terms of unless Solskjaer comes out the box and wins 8 games like he did when he first took over, there's got to be no patience there. They're just going to be thinking, you know what, is there another manager there? Because Man United should be doing better, as
absolutely
a lot of them are fair weather fans. Right, that's it for my first show
I
presenting.
reckon you've done well.
Done very well, Kyle.
I've done all right, but you know,
No,
You've done
it's-
it.
I mean, comments
well.
will let us know what you
There's
think.
other people in Newcastle fans, Stevie, who haven't stepped up yet, and you have, so well done.
I mean, thank you very much. But
Done well, you've done well, you have.
it's been a great show. I've mentioned many things like Rafa's contract, the
Yep.
striker situation, North East clubs. I mean, it's been a great show, and I've had a great time doing my
Yep.
first show as a presenter, and I'm sure I'll be on the presenting role once again. But thank
payroll
you.
now.
Thank you for everyone that's
Thanks
listened
for
in
Padlock.
on
No
the
problem.
stream as well as on the radio itself on any 1FM. And yeah, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. I'll catch you later.
Good night.
Good night.